The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to RAP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts,
Kim Purvis
and Allison Robinson. Make sure to check us out on our Facebook pages, RAP Paranormal and Friends and RAP Paranormal Busters, for up-to-date show information and events. Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween and welcome to RAP Paranormal and Friends. But we have a special guest for you tonight. A little bit different topic for us. I think maybe about 4 years ago, we had something similar, but I'm very excited for this. I think you guys will all enjoy it. But I'm welcoming Ellen Kohn to the show. She's an author. She has a book out called Be Like the Wind, 3D Crimes Channel Spiritual Light. So thank you for joining us tonight, Ellen.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, we are absolutely excited to have you as well. Now, kind of give us a little bit of background on yourself. How did you become an author and how did you come up with this title for this book? Like, how did it all come about?
This is my first book, and it started with my horse, Monty. So I've rescued a lot of animals in my life, and this horse was very broken and literally starving to death. And after 17 years, he was like a big dog, and we were out riding, and I jokingly said to him, "What life advice do you have for me today?" And he said, "Be like the wind." I was so taken aback. I pulled out my phone and I wrote it down. And so, well, maybe I'm supposed to write down these messages that I get from him and the other horses that I've shared my life with. And that was the genesis of the book, because I do hear them. I do see their images. I work in the animal communication field. So it's not foreign to me. And before that, I was trained as a healer, and then I did really intense psychic training. So it all kind of started to fit together, that you joke around and you get this phrase in your head that you say, "Where'd that come from?" Right. And you know it's coming from him, not from me, because I couldn't have even made that up. So that's how the book got started, and it took me 8 years to get it done. I'd start, I'd stop, I'd get things. I would say, "You got to work on the book." So I would talk to them and I get new material. And then finally in 2023, I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm going to do this. And I started trying to organize it, which there's a part in the book that says spirit had its own idea, because I couldn't stick to an outline. And I finally gave up. Said, all right, says, you guys show me how you want the book to look. And they did, starting with their own stories and their own journeys and their own traumas. And then they lead into how it's kind of a self-help, second part of the book, where they tell us in really simple language how to sort of be in the world.
Very cool.
So there you go.
So how did you find out that you had these abilities or gifts to communicate with the spirit world or animals? How did that all come about?
It came about through my clients and my clients' animals.
Mm-hmm.
And one in particular horse many years ago, his owner said, ask him how he hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. Toby, how did you hurt yourself? And I heard something completely out of the blue
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't what she and I were thinking how he hurt himself, which was in a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to her, I don't know where that came from. And then I started asking people, did I really hear that? Oh, yeah, you heard it. So then I started studying with animal communicators.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2007, I put it out. All right, everybody, send me your animals. I'm going to talk to them. I don't care. I'm just going to practice. And I filled journal after journal. And I didn't charge anybody because I wanted to keep practicing.
Right.
And it started working. And I also realized I could see inside people's houses. I could see wallpaper. I could see their kitchens. I could see the big, huge old tree in the backyard that had a bench. And I'm like, this is remote viewing. So then I took on tracking lost animals, even though it's really, really hard and it doesn't always have a good ending for many reasons.
Right.
I do it. Most of the time I try, if I have enough bandwidth, to really do it for the person, or I give them some tools to tune into their own animal. Because the animal has to want to be found, has to want to go home, and has to hear me say, it's okay to show yourself. That's our first step. So we know where you are. And I dowse. I'm a spiritual dowser. I use pendulums and wands. So often I can get a direction where they're going or where they are in the moment, because they move around. So you're tracking energy. Right. Yeah, you could be picking up the yellow house where they peeked in the backyard yesterday and they're 3 doors down today. Yeah. It's tricky. But I always am willing to try, because I just really try to be of service. I really, really do.
Right. Have you come across an animal that that had run away or something and didn't want to go back to their members because maybe it was not a good place for them to be?
Yes, I have, especially cats, because if they get spooked off and they find a home where there isn't a barking dog or somebody chasing them, fence, there's a big black lab growling at them, they don't want to go home. They'll say, sorry, I'm going somewhere I feel safe. And it isn't necessarily about the good relationship they have with their people. It can be something else. Or they run off because something's going on and get hit by a car. So they don't go home. Right. And I have to be the one to tell the person, I'm really, really sorry, but your cat got killed by a car. And but then there's closure. There's closure.
How do you deal with telling somebody that their pet doesn't want to come home? Like how do you deal with that?
Carefully. Carefully. It happened a couple months ago where the woman's mother-in-law's doodle was chasing the cat all over the yard. And I got enough pictures of where he went that she confirmed there was a church, there was this, there was that. And I said, I think he's being fed and I think he's safe. But I also think he does not want to come back. I mean, sometimes the human makes promises they don't keep.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I've had that happen where my neighbor in Colorado had me talk to her show dog, who was this gorgeous Aussie. And the Aussie did not want to be a show dog. She wanted to hang out with the 3 boys and be a buddy in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And the owner said, all right, tell her if she gets the championship, I'll retire her. She got the championship, and the woman continued to show her.
Oh, my gosh.
She broke her promise.
Right.
I mean, you got to follow through. If you're going to do that and bargain with them, like everybody, you have to follow through. And I didn't say anything because it's not my business. And, that's their contract. Yeah. They got to work it somehow.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a bummer right there. Now, going back to your book, Be Like the Wind, is like a book, like a channel book. And it's about like 3 horses that are delivering this message, correct?
Yes.
Through a human, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what they say or how they want to help us?
Yes. So Monty, who was the one that gave the first message, be like the wind, he followed a horse named Billy. And when I looked back, putting the book together, Billy's messages were there way before I got Monty, and I didn't see it spiritually till I looked in hindsight. Billy was a spiritual wake-up call. And then after Monty came Romeo, who's still here, he's still alive, the other twins, and they are really telling us a few main things. Be authentic, go within, look to the spirit world for your answers, find gratitude, practice gratitude, practice, really stepping up and being the best version of yourself, and help the world. Because the whole beginning of the book is their version of what we're doing to Earth. The rage, the competition, the destruction that we're putting out there all the time, and how they're like, you can't hide it anymore. We see what you're doing as humans, and it's causing destruction, not only of animals, but people and the beautiful planet. So they lead with that. Like, we see your rage. We see it. And we do have it. I have it at times. I mean, I'm not a perfect human being, but when I feel it, I go, there's that rage. You get it under wraps, because you don't walk around like that. So they're very helpful because they're so grounded and they're so connected to spirit. And they do let the wind go. They do let dogs and, all animals let stuff go through them. But I think horses are very forgiving. That when they have trauma, for sure it needs to be unwound and helped and healed. But they do heal. They can heal. All animals.
Right. Yeah. Now, when they are communicating, are they communicating through like words or vision, or how are they communicating with you?
I can hear them. I can see their pictures, and I can feel the vibration sometimes where they're saying, especially with Monty, he really taught me a lot about fear. And when I came in with a fearful vibration, he would pick up on it immediately and like, don't come near me. I got enough of my own. You can't project that onto me. So it can go through feeling, like emotions. It can go through a lot of clairvoyance, psychic pictures. And part of the book is because when they discuss their past lives, I get a picture like a horse in the Crusades with Romeo. I think it was Romeo. And I go, wow, tell me more about this. Which king did you serve? And then he would tell me, I would hear his words. He would unravel the story of what he did in that past life. And it was really helpful. And I could see it, like, because Romeo looks like a Spanish Andalusian horse, but he's an American Mustang, but his lineage is clearly European, clearly his physique, his face. He just has another world kind of look about him. And I get it now. It all makes sense.
Now, with these three horses, they all kind of have their own journey. Can you tell us a little bit about each one of their journeys?
Yeah, Billy, who was in essence the first, even though he came in after the book started, he was a show horse and was not appreciated. He was very talented. So they kept selling him and moving him on and turning him over. He had no permanence. He had no person. He had blue ribbons, but it did not matter to him. He didn't care. He wasn't one of those that wanted to be that champion. So when he and I met, he showed me the hugest sense of humor by sticking his tongue out like on command, like you tickle his nose and his tongue comes out like a dog. He was laughing, and I said, wait a minute, this horse is really different. So part of his journey was being himself and cutting out the showing and the performing and all this. Look at that. He was beautiful, but it wasn't about his beauty. It was about his personality. So he talked about play and fun and not to be serious. Because I was young enough that I was kind of still serious about what am I doing? And I was jumping him and triage. He just wanted to have fun. And then Monty was really a bag of bones, and he was about healing the fear of humans and getting over the abuse that he witnessed. I think they did a lot to him on the racetrack. And Romeo is a captured Mustang who came from the range in California, helicopter roundup. If you read any of that, it's the worst of the worst of the worst way to capture animals, is scaring them to death with a giant monster in the air, causing a stampede where they run over each other. They're freaked out beyond belief. They get hurt. They die. They never see their families again, and must really bonded in families, and then sent off to a holding pen where right now I think our number in the country is over 60,000 horses in holding pens. Very few get adopted. They're going to sit there their whole lives in some pen. They'll be fed. Some will be trained, but they won't have their lives. Their lives are gone. So that's Romeo. And he had a lot of stories about the prison because he lived in a prison for 12 years and he was a trainer's horse. So he met a lot of horses coming and going. And when he's standing at the window right now, he hears me knocking in the window.
That's funny.
I tried to show somebody the other day, but I'm not very savvy to turn my computer around and say, look, he's standing right here. But
That was so funny.
But his story is magnificent because he is my heart horse. Not that the others weren't, but he follows me around like a dog. I could probably take him on a walk down the road now and he'd just be walking by my side, like not even in a halter. We're so connected.
Oh, wow.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Why do you think animals want to help humans when humans can be so hurtful to them?
I think they have such a higher level of consciousness that they can forgive us for what we're doing to each other and to them, and that they can turn it around and say, all right, I'm still here. Just turn to me and I can help you. They want to help so much. They want to serve. They want to be our companions. They're so loyal.
Right.
They're so the worst abused dogs that are still wanting to have a master, or let's not say master, that sounds like ownership. We don't own them. They don't own us. Have these companions to be in that love space. You know, one thing I learned when I was writing the book, because I did look up the vibration of love, and I didn't know that love, it has the highest frequency on the hertz level of any vibration out there.
Wow.
So if you can resonate with love, and it isn't in love with a person or an animal, it's walking in love and trying to be light, then you're having a high vibration and you can let that vessel of healing. It's very, when you empty yourself and you try to have mercy, compassion, you're walking for spirit to, you're inviting spirit to use you as a vehicle to serve and to help. It's really true. And I wasn't raised like this at all. So I'm not spouting stuff that I learned. It's all been experiential for me.
Yeah. This is very cool. Very cool. Well, can anybody learn how to communicate with animals?
Yes, you can. Penelope Smith has some great books. Anna Twinney was writing for a while. She was a tabletop dancer, and she took a cat to a pet psychic, and she was so blown away that she became an animal communicator. Wow. And she has a book called Straight from the Horse's Mouth. It was one of the first ones I read. It's funny, it's light, and I said, all right, if she can do it, anybody can do it. But, you want to have that passion, and you want to have persistence, like anything in life. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to get it wrong or not, because maybe now I know what I might be reading might be a past life. Or it's happened to me where I got two animals in a picture and I'm reading the one on the right instead of one on the left because the one on the right's talking. Oh, you're not the one I'm supposed to talk to, but you've got something to say. And you might not make sense of the information, but eventually most people pull a thread or two or a lot.
Oh, she jinxed us. Remember? We lost her. She literally just froze. She talked about that. I'm sorry, everybody, but she just froze. Right there. There we go. I was like, you jinxed us. You were talking about how that happened to you the other day. You were talking. I heard you, and then all of a sudden you were just frozen in time.
I could see myself, but I couldn't see you. And I live near the mountains, so it's possible my internet. But it's also possible spirits messing with us. I would tend to believe that.
That's too funny because we were just talking about that before the show started, and lo and behold, it happens.
It is hard to read your own animals. I'll give you that. We are so connected. We are so close.
Right.
I've been able to, when I really, really, really get quiet, and of course now I've been doing it a long time. And in the day, I remember a dog after we've been away, and Tucker was sitting there, and I'm like, whoa. I didn't hear him, but I knew he was saying that house sitter was not okay. The way his body language was. Yeah. And I found out he was right, and he was letting me know something wasn't right about her. Oh, wow. And I just knew it. And again, I didn't hear words, and I didn't see anything from him. I just knew something was wrong. So those kinds of things happen too, where you just know, and that's your intuition, and we all have that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I know earlier you were talking about you were a healer and things first. So did you do work with actual human spirits prior to the animal communication, or?
I started with healing touch for animals because I met a healer who worked with people, and she came to work on one of our kids and looked around and said, you have so many animals. You need to train in this program for animals. So I did. And then I worked with Reiki, and then I worked with another system, which right now is my main system, called Meridian. It's mostly remote. And then, as I said, I did psychic training for 7 years, and every Wednesday we read for the public. So I did a ton of practice for 7 years. And I love those psychic readings.
Oh, yes.
We read your rose, which is your now, like right now, not tomorrow. We read 2 past lives, which gives so much information about this lifetime. And we read 7 layers of the aura, which correspond to your chakras. And often guides come in during those. Any part of that reading can bring a guide in. And sometimes a 3rd past life will come in during the 7 layers. But there's always something that's a huge takeaway. Like, what is the message from that past life for this life? And it's fascinating. Wow. So, and nothing is predictive. Nothing is scary. It's not going to be like you're going to cut your finger and need stitches in 5 days. It's not that. How you move energy in your life. And if there is something stuck, I'm really tactful. Like, I read a woman today, and she's a new widow, and she's ready to date. And I knew in the shower last night that her 3rd layer, her solar plexus, was stuck. So I saw it in the shower. And when I got there and I was reading her, I said, Sue, you've got like one of those fishing nets, a cast net where you throw to catch bait. And it's like a filter, but we need to move it out because it's preventing you from manifesting. You know, new partner, new fun, new men. So that was the only thing in her reading that was slightly like needed to be pushed aside. And the rest was pretty strong because I'd done a reading for her right after her husband died. So I saw the strength that had come in from 6 months ago to today. But we were laughing. It was a lot of fun. And she had a rough go at the end when he was very sick and
Mm-hmm.
all that. So it can really, really help people with stuff they're working on to, on their personal journey.
Oh, right. Yeah, for sure. I've always thought about having a reading. I just really haven't gone to do one yet. So
I'll
maybe.
gift you one. I'll gift you one.
Okay.
I will. I will offer that as a gift for a thank you for this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
We'll schedule it. You need about an hour and a half. When
Okay.
your schedule permits, we'll do it.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. That I've been kind of scared to do one. And so, but I'm like, well, maybe I just need to have one to see what I need
No,
to be
nothing
doing.
about this is scary. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise. The first thing I tell people, there's nothing to be scared of. I mean, fairies can come in.
Mm-hmm.
Merlin came in for me recently,
Wow.
my guides. And guides can change. Guides can come in and
Mm-hmm.
out and change form. And one of the things I find so fascinating through all the teachers I found
Mm-hmm.
is my favorite expression right now is there are no rules.
Mm-hmm.
I've had teachers say to me, oh, dogs reincarnate as dogs, people reincarnate as people, cats reincarnate. I
Mm-hmm.
don't believe that. And
Yeah.
he's a respected teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that. And I
Right.
asked other teachers, what do you think? And they're
Mm-hmm.
like, no.
Mm-hmm.
One woman that came through Santa Fe, she's not doing mediumship anymore.
No.
She told me she had been a woolly mammoth.
Oh, wow.
That's
I
how
did.
far back her past
I
lives
do.
went.
I do remember having that question. Like I asked somebody on the show a few years ago. I don't remember what the response was, but that was one of my things. I'm like, if we're reincarnated, I mean, because when I was younger, I always thought I was like, well, I want to be reincarnated as this animal. Like if I come back, I want to be this animal or whatever. And I got to thinking, I'm like, can that really be possible? But I can't remember. I don't know if Kim remembers what show or episode it was, but I do remember asking that question. So. I'm glad that somebody else thinks that can happen besides me. So,
Well, and here's another thing. This same teacher, we used to go to his house pre-COVID, and we'd
hmm
sit in different rooms and we would trade readings.
hmm
And I was reading a woman, and she died not long after that. And
hmm
somebody came in and she said, "You're describing my son, but he's here. He's not in the spirit world." And then
hmm
I read her a little further. That's my husband. He's in the spirit world. Teacher came in and said, "The living don't come into these readings."
hmm
Well, I mean, it just happened. So how can you dispute that
right.
I described the son who is here? So there's
hmm
another example that it's experiential. It's different for everyone.
hmm
If you study some of the European mediums, and there's some really, really famous ones that
hmm
come out of Holland at Zwanhof and Scotland, the Finlay
hmm
Institute, all that, they have really strict rules.
hmm
And they separate the psychic readings from the mediumship readings. Well,
Wow.
seems in my world it's all mixed into one because I get people sometimes I'll be doing a reading and I'll say, I see a little white dog. Well, that
hmm
was my dog when I was a child.
hmm
So you can't make this stuff up, Allison. You
Right.
cannot. You
Uh-huh.
can't.
Yeah. Well, we did an expo a few years ago. It was our very first one, and there was a gentleman who was doing readings, but he would have animals come through, and like a
Yeah.
lot of times he would start like he would like start making the noise of the animal and then say, this is what I see, this is what, whatever, and this is what they're saying. Or like if he had a spirit come through that had an accent, he would like literally start talking in that accent. I've never seen anybody else do that yet.
I have. It's wonderful. It's
Yeah. hmm
wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a guy that used to come, I think he still comes to Santa Fe from Australia,
hmm
and he was a physical medium, and it was called ectoplasm. He would go
Oh,
in a
uh-huh.
dark, like closet,
hmm
and he was strapped to the chair. You couldn't see him, black curtains. It was like a seance. The room was dark. I went with one of my kids and his girlfriend, and the girlfriend at the time was gripping she was terrified, and she was gripping my hand so hard, and people were coming through, and he took on a persona,
hmm
and it's verbally, and he would say, I have Aunt Jade here, and
hmm
somebody would raise their hand in the dark, say, that's me, I can take that. And
Oh
then he
gosh.
would provide information, and
Mm-hmm.
perhaps the woman would be sobbing because she was connecting with her beloved aunt. It
Uh-huh.
was so fascinating. It was,
Wow.
it was great. But I
Wow.
went a couple times and then I thought, okay, I believe it
Mm-hmm.
and I don't need to keep going.
Right.
So I stopped, but I went enough that I believed it.
Wow.
It was,
That's very
yeah,
fascinating. Do you think that the animal spirit world and the human spirit world are the same?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I mean, in other words, I think when we cross,
Mm-hmm.
we can meet them, those who are already there. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm hoping,
Yeah.
and I get enough information from the other side that I feel like I know they're okay. For example, in my book, Billy, he died very suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
horrible colic. You know, the vet came to our barn in Colorado, checked his gums, said he's fine. We were talking. I said, Gary, we're going on vacation tomorrow. Can you look again, just in case I need to
Mm-hmm.
bring him down for fluids? He lifted his lip. He said, oh my gosh, his gums are gray. You need to bring him down immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That was at 10 in the morning, and we had to put him down at 1. It went
Oh,
south
wow. Oh
so
my
fast.
gosh. Uh,
So I got to say goodbye. I
mm-hmm.
got to get a crystal and put it on his third eye, and I
Mm-hmm.
carried it in my pocket for months.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me in a dream. This was kind of on the pre what I'm doing now. He
Uh-huh.
came to me in a dream,
Mm-hmm.
so lifelike, so big, his whole face. I woke up and I said, he was really here. I really
Wow.
believe that he was there, and I hadn't studied dreams. I just knew he was
Mm-hmm.
really here and he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, ask for a sign, ask them to come in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
They will. You've got to ask, and you've got to like clear to your best ability the
Mm-hmm.
sorrow, the grief. You won't, move it out completely, but try to be receptive to a
Mm-hmm.
sign. And you will get a sign. Maybe not right away,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
once you detach, like a Buddhist way, let go of the outcome, it'll come back. It
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to remember that then. Look for signs. I always forget to look for signs. Everybody always says, oh, cardinal, or like my aunt says, pennies. She finds pennies are in the house because of her
Mhm.
parents used to leave things around and she finds them randomly in odd places and things like that. But I guess I've never really paid attention after a loved one has passed to see if they. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's probably, yeah, so it could be your parents.
Yes,
Hmm.
for sure. A
Yeah.
double and two parents. A feather, for me, feathers are enormous signs
Mm-hmm.
because they come at the weirdest times.
Uh,
Like, there's one hanging from a tree and you're on a hike and you literally run into it.
right. Uh-huh. Yeah.
In 2019, when Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas, and
Mm-hmm.
that's, as you know, where I have a nonprofit, and we didn't know
Mm-hmm.
if people were alive or dead at the shelter
Oh,
because we
wow.
knew it was flooding right at the
Oh, mm-hmm.
exact location of the
Oh, wow.
animal shelter. We went on vacation, and there was a ground level bathroom in this weird tower. And
Mm-hmm.
I sat down to go to the bathroom. I looked out the window. There was a feather sticking straight up in the grass, a big
Oh,
feather,
wow. Uh-huh.
not laying flat where it was upright.
Right. Oh, wow.
And you can't make it up. And I kept finding feathers that whole trip in weird places. Like
Huh.
we'd be walking through a city and there'd be a feather on a step. Like you look up this staircase and there's
Mm-hmm.
a feather in a dark staircase. Like
Oh, wow.
they were everywhere. It just blew my mind because
Mm-hmm.
it was a horrible, horrible hurricane and 200 dogs died and
Oh.
the whole city of Freeport was decimated. They still haven't rebuilt
Oh,
down there.
wow. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine anything like that.
If you've ever lived on the edge of a hurricane, you know how terrifying it can be
I
and
have
how you have
not.
to evacuate. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Nope, we're
yeah,
from Iowa, so we have not dealt with that. We get tornadoes, and we had a derecho a few years ago that took out a bunch of things, but no hurricanes for us.
You probably go underground then, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Like,
Yeah.
in a basement. Yeah,
Mhm.
shelter under. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh,
It's still scary, but yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right, getting back here. I lost my train of thought. Okay, I think I'm back to it. Now, can you tell me about like what any kind of unseen energy or thing of that nature, how do they influence our lives? Like things that we can't see or know
Well, I
about.
think they provide answers to our concerns. And again, it's experiential when I say ask for help. And sometimes I say to people, you don't have to have a formal prayer
Mm-hmm.
or a plea or a pledge. You can even say help
Yeah.
and you get answers. You really do. So I think spirit has our back.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it opens up the magic
Mm-hmm.
of the spirit world, which can create bliss and joy and gratitude because we can get so caught up in our mundane problems, health,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, all of that, that we forget that there's another realm that's
Mm-hmm.
just waiting to help us out.
Right.
We've really got to some degree, Allison, we have to be aware. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to say work at it.
Right.
It's not like study it, work at it. We
Mm-hmm.
have to have that awareness and
Mm-hmm.
that desire to connect. And once you've
Mm-hmm.
got those two things,
Mm-hmm.
lots can shift.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
a lot of things can shift. But
Mm-hmm.
life is not easy. It isn't. It is
No.
not.
Mm-mm.
And it can be really, really hard for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Really hard.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, I get that. Like, I connect. I don't know that I connect, with spirits a lot of times. Um, Sometimes I just don't know how to shut it off. Kim's like, that is for sure.
Well, if you're getting it all the time, it's running. Yeah, she's laughing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't sometimes because they're tapping and they want to be heard. And
Hmm.
you may have to set a boundary and say, now, guys, come back in the morning when I'm a little clear headed.
Right.
But I'm not one of those that
Hmm.
gets them constantly because I've got such an analytical brain from earlier. I
Uh-huh.
guess I am. I analyze I'm learning not to,
Yes.
but it's monkey mind. And if you can quiet that,
Hmm.
you really get some cool stuff.
Stuff. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you really do.
Do you have any other books or anything else that you have in the works or?
I have two children's books that are
Oh,
well, one
cool.
I'm writing a breakout book about Romeo's story
Uh-huh.
for children and the Mustang thing. And then when we rescued a wild burro they're
Oh.
basically donkeys, but it
Uh-huh.
was on my
Yes.
list. It was kind of a COVID thing. Like, we're going to be stuck here and,
Hmm.
hunkering down. I'm going to start researching it.
Uh-huh.
So I went on to the government BLM site, and
Hmm.
there was a whole facility in Arizona, which when I thought back, Colorado, where I got
Oh.
Romeo's heck of a lot
Yeah.
closer. But I got a hold of somebody. He left. Uh-oh. Come back. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
there was only one trainer in New Mexico. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
only one person to gentle. He said, I've never gentled a donkey. I'm going to go to Arizona and get 4 of them. And he brought them back to his ranch. I went and met them, and I picked a different one than
Hmm.
I saw in the picture.
Oh, okay.
And turned out she was pregnant, and we didn't know for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. Uh-huh.
So we got a poofer. We got a little baby 3 years ago who is the most mischievous, naughty, fun-loving 3-year-old
Uh,
Jenny. They're called Jennies.
uh-huh.
And I'm writing a book about Bella, her mom, and Luna.
Okay.
Hopefully I can pull it off for children. And I am writing another book
Hmm.
that
We're having some technical difficulties again. Oh, yep, there it goes. Oh, are you there? Hello? There
I'm
we
hearing
go.
you
All right.
flipping out. I'm going to
Oh,
have to this what I believe person here who is coming in to stop
Uh-huh.
messing with, unless it's my internet, but we do have good internet in
Yeah.
this room. So I'm writing another book that I probably don't want to dive into right now,
Mhm.
called Suicide in the Soul,
Mm-hmm.
from some personal family stuff, as you
Okay.
might,
Yeah.
surmise. But it's going to be a hard book. I've written a lot,
Hmm.
like 10,000 words, but I'm
Oh,
going to get
wow.
it out soon to try to help people
Hmm.
work with that subject, which is difficult for
Right.
even to talk about. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, do you, with your communications and everything, do you have a way for people to contact you if they want help with anything like
Yes.
that? Or
I have two websites.
Mhm.
Um, one is called Enlightened, ENLIGHTENED,
Mhm.
animals.com.
Mhm.
And the other is a breakout. It's just about my psychic readings. And
Okay.
that website is called www.psychicjourneys.net. So that gives a lot of detail about the psychic readings.
Okay.
Uh, Even though it's on the Enlightened Animal site, it gets lost
Mhm.
because I do have a lot of services.
Oh. Mhm.
I have so many energetic modalities. I
Mhm.
blend custom flower crystal essences to help with
Oh,
grief
wow.
and trauma. With my pendulum, I just made a really fun one today. And, I just do a lot of things. I'm kind of a mixologist, so people can pick what they want. And once you're in my pipeline, I'll do a quick check-in. I'll do a
Uh-huh.
death and dying consult, just so I can be available on quick notice for people who can't make a decision. Like, what should we do? Should we
Right.
wait?
Mhm.
Sometimes the human can't wait.
Right.
If their animal is trying to cross and they're
Mhm.
suffering,
Right.
it's a gift. It's a gift we can give them.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not pretty,
Right.
when you watch your animal go. It's
Mhm.
not fun.
No, it's not fun at
Been
all.
there.
Mhm.
I've
They're
been there, and
yeah,
yeah,
they're like our babies. They're like
they are.
family.
They
Where,
really are.
yep. Where can people find your book? And if you want to let them know about when they purchase your book, where this is going to.
Oh, so the best place I have of it just came out this week, but I know for sure you can go to Amazon.com and find it, which is,
Mhm.
of course, a main shopping
Right.
for many people.
Right.
And I wanted to tell all of you that I am donating all 100% of the profits to my personal nonprofit in the Bahamas, where that hurricane and many more have struck since I started in 2021. I'm sorry, 2001.
Uh-huh.
It's going to go to the Humane Society of Grand Bahama. So, it's any sales are going to go through my publisher, which
Mm-hmm.
is Collected Inc.
Ink.
in England, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to keep track. And I have to put my bank account in there, but I'm going to put my nonprofit bank account. So I'm going to see what comes in through book sales. So it's kind of fun to be
Very
able to
cool.
really separate it out. Um, or all book sales, friends, family,
Mm-hmm.
people that are buying it. I'm going to know now, how many copies are being sold. And I'm, again, trying not to attach,
Right.
because it will resonate with some people. And
Mm-hmm.
some people might read it and say, oh, I don't believe this at all, that
Right.
these horses spoke through this human being. Well, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
choice to, you know,
Right.
to tune into that world or not. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a very freeing feeling to just be like the wind and go about my life, and whatever happens is meant to be, and
Right.
don't have to hang on to it and worry about it and wonder. And I was doing that in the beginning, and I'm like, what are you doing? Forget it. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Don't do it. No,
Yeah.
not anymore. Yeah.
Well, I think it's very cool that the proceeds are going to the Inhumane Society. That's a very cool thing to be doing. So, all of our listeners out there, make sure you go check out Ellen's book on Amazon.com. Be like the win, and once again, all the proceeds are going to the Humane Society in the Bahamas, right?
Grand Bahama,
Grand
Humane
Bahamas.
Society of Bahama,
Yep.
and it's 95% euthanasia rate.
Oh, wow.
5% of all the animals, and they can have up to 400 dogs or 200 to 400 dogs if they're really crammed, and about 100 cats. So, and
Wow.
they rescue a seagull or reptile, but by and large, and they're very, very special. We have a dog from there. She's now 13. They're called pot cakes. They named them after the peas and rice that get stuck to the bottom of the pot. They should have been called rice cakes.
Yeah.
But pot cake stuck 300 years ago. So she's a Royal Bahamian pot cake, and she's a mutt. She's a street mutt. But they are, not that all dogs aren't, but there's something special. She's our second one.
Oh,
Our
wow.
first one had a sudden death, not pretty at all.
Mm-hmm.
He was very sick, and we didn't know it for different reasons, but we had him 8 years, and we got him to heal. So he had a good life.
Wow.
But it was very sudden and bad in the day. But yeah, so if you look up Royal Bahamian pot cake, you'll see how different and varied the dogs are.
Yeah.
They're super special. They really are full of gratitude. Again, not that all dogs aren't.
Right.
But she's different. She's really, really, I can say she's sensitized to a level of survival beyond, your purebred coming from the fancy breeder.
Right.
That might sound funny, but that's just my opinion. So.
I just looked them up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're cute.
They're really cute.
Yeah.
And they're all different.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Right. Oh man.
This one looks like a Sheltie Collie mix.
Okay.
She's got long hair, and she's kind of got a Sheltie face, but they can look like greyhounds. They can look like labs. A lot of them have shepherd in them. Some have Pomeranian. I mean, because in the day when we lived in Denver, we were doing puppy lifts through my nonprofit. We had a lot of people helping through Frontier and Delta, getting them off island. We do cargo flights to Fort Lauderdale, and then Delta, Frontier would fly them to Denver, and we would farm them out. Tons of rescues, and every begging for more pot cakes. I ran into a guy on a trail once, and I looked at his puppy. I said, "Where'd you get the puppy?" And he said, "Poodle Puppy Rescue in Fort Collins or somewhere northern Colorado." I said, "Is that a pot cake? Is that a Bahamian dog?" And he said, "It is." I said, "I can tell." And he goes, and the woman running the rescue, she moved somewhere to Virginia. She could not adopt them out fast enough.
Oh, wow.
That's how much people love them. Yeah, people really, really love the pot cakes. But, now it's hard. Yeah. Now it's really hard. Unless you did it privately. Like, we can get a few off the island with Wings of Rescue has been there during the hurricanes and flown hundreds. But otherwise, you're looking to the private pilots when they're on a flight to take 5 at a time. Yeah. It's helpful, but it isn't 20 or 30 like we used to get.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to really have a good roll going.
Oh my gosh.
Can you see this? Here's our girl.
Oh my gosh, so cute. Here. Oh my gosh, yeah, almost looks like a fox.
Yeah, I don't know where she went.
But I saw,
there she is.
Yeah.
That's Sheikah.
Oh my gosh, that is a beautiful dog.
She's really, really gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Very cute.
Yeah, and I went to the shelter to see the woman who runs it. We're really good friends. And I said, "We're not quite ready yet." I think we had 3 dogs. And she said, "I've already got one picked out for you." And she took me over to this little pen, and there were like 5 puppies in there. And I leaned over, and she put her paws up here.
Oh.
And I said, "All right."
Yeah.
And she said, "Take her to the hotel for the weekend." So I took her out to the resort, and in the middle of the night, she had the runs all over the rug. And I said, "I gotta clean it." So I dragged the rug to the marina, and she was with me, little 5 months old. I turned around, she was gone. And I'm like,
no.
oh my, there were wild dogs in the
Right.
village. She'd
Yeah.
been eaten.
Mhm.
So I ran back to our room, and she was waiting. She
Oh,
knew exactly where to
exactly.
go to wait for me. And I'd only known her a few hours.
Oh my gosh, wow.
And everybody was flipping over her.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I would be too. She is a
She
she's a beautiful
she
dog.
still is gorgeous. She's deaf now, but she's
Oh,
something else.
yeah. Oh
She
wow.
can't hear, and she's slowed down a little, but
But
she's still
yeah.
that spirit in her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's
Yeah.
so okay. Well, before we wrap things up, I just want to thank everybody that was in chat tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to everybody who was not in chat but listening. We always appreciate each and every one of you. We'll be back live next week. We have a returning guest, Susan Plunkett. She's going to be talking about her new book next week. So check out our social media for more details on that. That's to come. And then the following week, we're going to have another returning guest, Alora. She's going to be talking about Vedic astrology, so stay tuned for that. And once again, thank you. Yeah, any other books she wants to come talk about? Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Ellen, for being on. It
Thank
was a pleasure, and
you.
I loved hearing about all your communications. I mean, not only with spirits, but for animals. I think that's a very cool thing. Um, and I would like to really learn, a little bit more about that. I mean, I think I can tell kind of sometimes, communicate with my animals a little bit, but I don't think they actually talk to me. I just body language wise. But I find it very interesting. I want everybody, all of our listeners, to please go check out her book. Be Like the Wind. You can find it on Amazon, like you said. Her proceeds are going to go to the Humane Society. I can't even talk.
Humane
The
Society of Grand Bahama.
Grand
It's a
Bahamas. Yes, I keep forgetting the first part. I know the other part, and then I'm like, I can't remember what the word is for that. We will put her websites and everything on our social media in the next couple of days. So check out that if you want to get a hold of Ellen, find out more. If you want any readings, if you want to learn how to communicate with your animals, or if you have problems with your animals, maybe she can help you with that. We will have that information on our social media as well. Now, do you have social media besides your website?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm learning to post.
Post.
Facebook,
Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. I don't feel like I fit on LinkedIn,
I
but
have that too. I don't know. I don't understand it.
you
So,
have that too. That's
um,
just such a corporate feeling to me.
yeah,
Corporate to
yes,
me.
yes.
But I'm doing it because again, I'm paying it forward. I want
Uh,
the word to get out, and people are fascinated by the whole. Wow, we can do this too. We can hear our animals. Yes, you can. Yes,
yeah.
you can. You
Mm-hmm.
can, and you can start at any age. You don't have to be a child
Oh,
that
mm-hmm.
has, maybe that's you when you're hearing them and you can't turn them off. I have friends that were doing readings when they were 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not my story, but that's okay.
Okay,
It's
right.
never too late to start.
Mm-hmm.
It's never too late to change to something you're just so excited about. You're
Oh,
going to do
mm-hmm.
something that passions you, I
No,
think.
no.
And that's what makes life
Mm-hmm.
worth living, finding
Oh,
those passions.
oh yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I need to find my passion, I think. Maybe I'll have a little more mojo. All right. Thank you
Well,
once
thank
again.
you again.
Yes, it was an absolute pleasure having you on. And once again, thank you
Thank
everybody
you.
for joining us. Until next time, peace out, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.